I will tell you firsthand, as an Auburn fan, I have never had less faith in the direction of the program than mid-season 2022. I started watching in 2012. They went 3-9 that year. I have seen the lows of this program, but 2022 just felt like the culmination of all the problems that have held this program back for, kind of forever. Whether it's the trustees or the infighting or the recruiting woes, it just seemed like nothing could possibly go right. Brian Harsin got canned less than 2 years into his tenure there, and this isn't a hit piece about him either. I'm a firm believer he was set up to fail because I don't even think he's the guy the folks writing the checks wanted. However, weirdly enough, the sentiment around this program started to change a little bit around that period of time. During Harsin's exit, the narrative slowly shifted from it being the most difficult job in America to it being a hot rod that just needed the right person behind the wheel. And truth be told, I really didn't even want to hear it. I kind of thought it was BS. Talks of a quote-unquote NIL reservoir and a long-awaited state-of-the-art football facility wrapping up construction began to take the forefront. Then one announcement, I believe, changed the trajectory. Changed the trajectory. That's hard to say. Changed the trajectory of the Auburn Tigers forever.
Go crazy, Cadillac! Go crazy!
I'll be the first to admit, while I really liked the choice, I didn't necessarily think it would have all that big of an impact. Cadillac is an Auburn legend, and honestly, I did feel like it was the right choice. But the 2022 season was long gone by this point. He debuted on the road against Mississippi State, and the feeling was just kinda different. Mississippi State was obviously the better team, coached by the late great Mike Leach. But the Tigers just wouldn't quit. In a lost season, these guys had every reason to just roll over, pack it up, and go home. They didn't see it that way, though. It was clear that this team had a different mentality instilled in them. It was clear that this team had nothing to lose. While they'd come up short, they put up a valiant effort and sent a message to everyone, especially the fan base, that this wasn't the end of a lost season. This was the beginning of a new day. Now it was time for the Tiger faithful to welcome a legend back to his old stomping grounds. This makes no sense to anybody outside of the college football world. This crowd, this level of excitement and energy, for a team below 500? Why? Because Cadillac is one of us. He represents everything we love about this team. The fire and the passion, the never say die attitude, the perseverance and the ability to overcome the odds. Cadillac is Auburn, and Auburn put on a show that night. Special. That game, that win, that night was special, and going forward, it was clear that there was renewed faith in the program. That perception change I talked about, well, that night proved that it wasn't just smoke and mirrors. Sure, they'd finished the year with a losing record, but the potential for great things was clearly there. Cadillac took a fractured locker room and somehow united them to fight and give everything for a team that wouldn't even end up becoming bowl eligible. That, alongside the fan investment and the upgraded football facility, led to a pleasantly surprising December and January for the Tigers. Cadillac wouldn't end up becoming the full-time head coach. That nod would go to Liberty's Hugh Freeze. While I have my reservations about Hugh, he's knocked it out of the park in the early stages of his tenure on the Plains. His first move? To keep Cadillac on as associate head coach, a job created specifically for him. Auburn has absolutely been killing it on the recruiting trail and in the transfer portal. I'm sure this has a lot to do with the savvy NIL strategy and upgraded facilities, but it's also not a coincidence that the Texas A&M game had a good bit of recruits in attendance. What also isn't a coincidence is that all of this happened because of interim head coach Cadillac Williams. Is Auburn going to set the world on fire in 2023? Truth be told, probably not. But I'd bet good money they'll show significant improvement. Hugh Freeze may be behind the wheel now, but Cadillac is the one that jump-started this program. I'm Will from M&S, signing off.